The Ice Age didn't just freeze landscapes, it ended worlds. Species that once ruled the plains, skies, and oceans vanished under glaciers or starved as their food disappeared. But what if we told you that not everything died? Some creatures held on. They didn't just survive, they adapted, endured, and refused to bow out. They came from a time when mammoths stomped the earth and saber-toothed cats owned the night. They faced starvation, cold, isolation, and a reshaped planet. And somehow they're still here, breathing the same air, walking the same ground, unbothered by time. So join us for today's video as we're going to count down 15 of the most unique and fascinating ancient beasts that survived beyond the Ice Age. Let's start off with number 15, aardvark. The aardvark doesn't look like it comes from deep time, but dig into its bones and you'll find Ice Age written in the DNA. It's a living contradiction. Long snout, rabbit ears, bare claws, and a tail that wouldn't look out of place on a kangaroo. Yet somehow this awkward design hasn't changed for millions of years. While megafauna fell to climate shifts and human arrival, the aardvark just kept digging. It doesn't fight. It doesn't run. It vanishes underground, tunneling faster than anything trying to catch it. Its primary food, termites and ants, survived the Ice Age too, which meant the aardvark never ran out of options. Its sense of smell is unmatched, its hearing sharp, and its claws, shovels backed by muscle. Even large predators have trouble catching them. Most animals had to evolve or die. The aardvark just stayed weird, quiet, and hard to kill. It outlasted mammoths not by fighting them, but by ignoring the fight entirely. Number 14, Pallas's cat. Pallas's cat isn't built for speed. It isn't built for charm either, but it is built to last. This flattened ball of fur with the deadpan expression has been slinking across the steppes of Central Asia since the Ice Age ended, and long before that too. Its squat body, thick coat, and round pupils give it an edge in places where the cold bites hard and prey hides low. Unlike other wild cats, it doesn't chase. It ambushes. It stalks pikas and ground birds through rocks and scrub, moving low and slow until the moment strikes. Its fur is so dense it can survive temperatures that would shut down most mammals. Its metabolism, designed for scarcity. It doesn't need much, but it makes the most of what's there. Pallas's cat never went extinct because it never overreached. It stayed small, stayed quiet, and kept out of the way while the world froze, thawed, and turned itself upside down. It simply endured. Number 13. Bearded seal. The bearded seal didn't evolve for speed or elegance. It evolved for grit. Heavy-bodied with thick whiskers and an expression that always looks unimpressed, this Arctic beast has been riding out harsh winters since mammoths still walk the tundra. It doesn't migrate. It stays put. And when the ice locks up the world, it carves out breathing holes with its claws and waits beneath the surface. Its body is a heat-retaining fortress, blubber-packed, slow-moving, and unbothered by temperatures that would send other animals scrambling. Its diet, bottom-dwelling invertebrates and fish. The seal dives deep, sifts through the mud, and surfaces with exactly what it needs, nothing more. No drama, no chase, just work, eat, rest, repeat. Humans hunted it. Climate change threatens it. Still, the bearded seal holds on, navigating a melting world with the same instincts that carried it through glacial ages. It doesn't roar or flee. It lingers. That's always been its superpower: patience, bulk, and a stubborn refusal to leave. Number 12. Wolverine. Wolverines aren't large. They're not fast. They don't hunt in packs or rule any territory with flashy dominance, but they're survivors in the purest sense, built for cold, scarcity, and relentless terrain. This animal doesn't chase down prey. It tracks wounded creatures for miles and tears frozen carcasses apart, with jaws designed to break bone. Its paws work like snowshoes, spreading weight across deep powder. Its coat shrugs off wind and ice like it's wearing armor. Wolverines don't adapt to their surroundings. Their surroundings are forced to deal with them, and that hasn't changed since the Ice Age. While larger predators died out, the wolverine stayed vicious, quiet, and brutally efficient. They roam huge territories, living mostly alone, rarely seen but often feared. Even bears give them space. They've fought wolves off kills twice their size. They're not symbols of strength. They're proof that resilience beats everything. The Ice Age made them. Modern times haven't softened them. And they're still out there, thriving in what most animals wouldn't touch. Number 11. Saiga antelope. Nothing about the Saiga antelope looks like it should still exist. Its bulging nose droops over its mouth like an accident, and its eyes are comically large. But that strange design is exactly why it's still alive. During the Ice Age, those nostrils filtered cold air before it hit the lungs and kept dust from choking it out on frozen plains. When the mammoths disappeared, the Saigas didn't panic. They just kept moving. Nomadic and fast, Saigas migrate across the harshest regions of Central Asia, always just ahead of disaster. Their herds rise and fall with climate swings and disease outbreaks, but they don't vanish. They retreat, wait, and return. Poachers, habitat loss, and even mass die-offs haven't erased them. Somehow, the Saiga keeps showing up against the odds, out of nowhere, like it never left. The Ice Age gave it that nose, those lungs, that stubborn heartbeat. And while the world keeps shifting beneath its hooves, the Saiga runs on ugly, ancient, and undefeated. Number 10. Tibetan wild yak. Tibetan wild yaks didn't just survive the Ice Age, they were shaped by it. Towering at over 6 feet at the shoulder, with lungs that can draw oxygen from air most creatures would choke on, this is an animal born for brutal altitudes and relentless cold. They don't wander, they ascend. Living above 13,000 feet, they graze on icy grasslands where trees won't grow and predators struggle to breathe. Their dense coat isn't fur, it's a wool fortress, layered and greasy, shedding snow like a roof in a blizzard. Yaks didn't need to outfight mammoths or outrun saber-tooths. They needed to endure, and they did. While lowland species panicked through climate shifts, yaks kept climbing higher. Even now, they roam the Tibetan plateau, largely untouched by modern noise. The wild ones are harder to find, bigger than the domesticated kind, and far less forgiving. What's left of the Ice Age still pulses in them, hooves planted on the rock, heads lowered against the wind, always pushing forward, always higher. Alright guys, now let's move to number 9. American bison. The American bison isn't a cow with an attitude. It's the last echo of the Ice Age megafauna still thundering across open land. At over a ton in weight and with shoulders built like battering rams, it's not just surviving, it's holding the line. Its ancestors came over from Asia via the Bering Land Bridge and spread across North America like a tidal wave. They withstood saber-toothed cats, glacial winters, and drought. When humans arrived, they kept moving. When colonization came with rifles and railroads, their numbers dropped from millions to near nothing, but they didn't go extinct. They waited. Bison aren't docile. They don't tolerate fences. They stamp, gore, and charge with no warning. That wildness is what kept them alive when mammoths and ground sloths disappeared. Today, they still roam, guarded, watched, protected, but not tamed. The Ice Age gave them bulk, patience, and the memory of a colder, wilder world, and in their bones, it's still alive. Number 8. Snow leopard. Snow leopards don't roar. They whisper. But that silence isn't weakness. It's the confidence of a ghost that's never needed permission to exist. High up in the Himalayas and Central Asian peaks, this cat didn't just survive the Ice Age. It inherited it. Everything about it is engineered for the impossible. Short muzzle to warm the air, huge lungs for thin altitude, thick tail for balance and shelter, and fur so dense it mocks wind chill. Their paws land softly. Their bodies vanish behind rocks. Prey rarely knows they're being watched until it's already over. While other big cats died out in cold eras, snow leopards leaned in. They never bothered to evolve into anything more social, more visible, or more manageable. And they didn't have to. Even today, they live on cliffs few humans will ever reach. Not because they're hiding, because that's where they belong. Born of ice, born for heights, snow leopards didn't descend with the thaw. They stayed above it all. Number 7. Giant salamander. There's something unsettling about a creature that hasn't changed in over 30 million years. The giant salamander doesn't care about looking ancient. It is ancient. With wrinkled skin, slow movement, and a face that barely registers emotion, it waits at the bottom of cold streams like a relic someone forgot to bury. Dryas, the largest amphibian alive today, can stretch over 5 feet long. Its eyesight is poor. It rarely moves fast. But its skin can sense vibrations in the water, and when prey passes by, small fish, insects, even frogs, it strikes with a snap. No drama, just a sudden end. It doesn't roar, doesn't leap, doesn't migrate. It simply exists, deep in the rivers of China and Japan as it always has. It prefers darkness, stillness, cool, oxygen-rich water. What saved it through the Ice Age wasn't aggression, it was consistency. It stayed low, stayed quiet, and kept doing what worked while the rest of the world melted, shifted, and forgot how to adapt. Number 6. Crocodile. There's a reason crocodiles still look prehistoric. They are. While the Ice Age came and went, reshaping continents and erasing giants, crocodiles hardly blinked. Their strategy: be terrifying enough to never need a redesign. They don't waste energy, they wait. With jaws that can snap bones and bodies armored in ridged scales, they dominate rivers and swamps the way they did millions of years ago. Their ancestors walked with dinosaurs. Today's crocs are nearly identical. During the Ice Age, they held to warmer regions, silent, submerged, and lethal. They didn't chase mammoths or try to rule open plains. They kept to murky water, ambushing prey that came too close. Their metabolism lets them go months without eating. Their bite is one of the strongest in the animal kingdom, and they haven't had a predator in centuries. Saber-toothed cats vanished, and megafauna collapsed, but crocodiles simply remained. Cold-blooded, timeless, and still ready to lunge. We don't know about you, but we just love these bad boys. Number 5. Cassowary. Cassowaries don't need to fly. They don't need to bark or chase. They just walk through the rainforest like they own it. And somehow, that's enough. With legs strong enough to disembowel and a horned crest on their head that looks carved from fossils, these birds feel like leftovers from a time before softness existed. Their lineage stretches back to a world of megafauna. They lived through the Ice Age by doing exactly what they still do now: keeping to themselves, staying deep in the forest, and turning violent when provoked. They can run at 30 miles per hour and jump over 6 feet without warning, and they don't bluff. That bone crest or casque helps them push through dense brush, possibly even detect vibrations. But it's the claws that seal the deal, razor sharp and fast. They're not showy, they're not friendly. They're here because they never stopped being dangerous enough to matter. Cassowaries didn't adapt to survive the Ice Age. They just never gave up their edge. Imagine Shoebill versus this monster, so who's gonna win? Number 4. Moose. The moose doesn't gallop, it stomps. Built like a walking muscle tower with a tree growing out of its skull, it moves through subarctic wilderness like it doesn't recognize obstacles. And truthfully, it doesn't have to. These solitary giants are one of the few remaining symbols of Ice Age herbivores, cold-weather browsers with long legs built for wading through snow and marsh. Their massive antlers aren't just for show. They settle disputes, command space, and carry the memory of battles fought under northern skies. Moose don't migrate far. They settle in cold zones that most animals avoid. When wolves come, moose don't run, they turn, swing, and trample. Even bears approach with caution. They eat bark, twigs, aquatic plants, whatever keeps them moving. What's more impressive is they've stayed relatively unchanged for thousands of years, outliving mammoths, outlasting dire wolves, and weathering centuries of habitat loss. The Ice Age forged their form. Modern time hasn't reshaped it. They remain monuments to cold-blooded survival, right where they've always belonged. Number 3. Musk ox. Musk oxen aren't built for flair. They're built for the kind of winters that bury weaker creatures alive. Short legs, it has a low center of gravity. A coat so thick and layered it shrugs off blizzards like a shrug. They didn't survive the Ice Age by luck. They did it by standing their ground, literally. When danger shows up, musk oxen don't scatter. They form a circle, horns out, calves in the center. It's not panic, it's policy. That strategy has worked since the Pleistocene, and they haven't found a reason to change it. Their diet isn't exciting. Grasses, moss, shrubs, but they make it work in some of the most unforgiving terrain left on Earth. And under that shaggy coat is kiviot, a downy underwool that's warmer and finer than cashmere. It's not for fashion, it's for survival. While mammoths and saber-tooths collapsed under change, musk oxen didn't flinch. They just lowered their heads and waited it out. Still here, still cold, still unbothered. Number 2. Komodo dragon. Well, the Komodo dragon doesn't need to chase, and it doesn't have to roar. It just walks, waits, and lets time do the killing. As the Ice Age faded and humans began writing history, this venomous monitor lizard kept doing exactly what it had always done: dominate its corner of the world. Reaching up to 10 feet long and weighing over 150 pounds, it carries prehistoric weight in every step. One bite from a Komodo doesn't kill immediately. It causes blood loss, infection, and organ failure. Prey runs. The dragon follows, slow and steady, until the panic stops. Then it eats. Their survival wasn't about outsmarting climate shifts. It was about being too dangerous to mess with. Isolated on Indonesian islands, they've maintained their place at the top without needing to evolve further. No one questions the Komodo's authority. Not pigs, not deer, not humans. This isn't a relic. It's a monstrous predator that watched Ice Age giants fall and didn't even blink. Number 1. Greenland shark. The Greenland shark doesn't rush. It doesn't hunt with speed. It simply moves, slow, silent, and ancient, found drifting under Arctic ice, often deeper than light reaches. This shark holds the record for longevity. Some may have been alive when the Ottoman Empire was still a fresh headline. It grows up to 20 feet long, swims at a casual 1 mile per hour, and eats whatever it finds: fish, seals, or even carrion. Its flesh is toxic. Its eyesight is poor. But it doesn't need perfection. It needs patience, and it has that in spades. Scientists believe it can live for over 400 years, 4 centuries of darkness, pressure, and cold. Its secret: a metabolism so slow it borders on stillness. It doesn't panic. It doesn't change. While Ice Age beasts burned fast and bright, the Greenland shark chose a different path: endurance over evolution. And that's why it's still down there, unchanged, unseen, and absolutely alive. And that's it for today, guys. We hope you found this video interesting. If you did, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you soon in the next one.